Okay, here we go. And first thing I'm going to check in is this thing mirror imaged or not. And I don't know why the hell it's all mirror image now. It didn't used to be before. Well, I don't know how to change it. And I'm not going to look into it. Because that'll just keep me from doing painting videos as well. Oh, we got a message. What is it? Okay, cool. I have no idea why this is behaving this way now. It's the same camera, everything. So. It's stuff like that why I hate technology. Okay. Second shade. We got our we got a chocolate brown there. Let's go ahead and drop this color here, which is US Field Drab. You know, when the hobby starts being frustrating, I stop doing it. So maybe at some point I'll look over how to switch it back, but I didn't do anything different. I don't know why it's doing a mirror image of the photo now. Before it was doing, because I ended up changing apps. I had to use a different app, and that actually created a mirror image, but not this one. This is how we've been doing it. Okay. We're gonna go ahead and do all three of them. I think they're all pretty much dry enough to do this. And this cough's driving me crazy. I'm like 2 or 3 weeks in. And my wife's had it for like a month. I was just mentioning that you know, 3 or 4 years ago, had this happen again, and it might be some kind of a sinus infection or something. Obviously, it's not very severe, other than it causes you to cough when you least expect it. But this is the basis for these 3 Soviet T-34s. which are the next 3 vehicles I'm going to do. And then we'll go back to working on the models we received in the mail. Just mixing it up. All right, and let's not get confused and use that instead when we're using Iraqi sand for the last one. We're going to need something like this to pop that open. There we go. And these last 2 colors are the ones that we're going to end up dry brushing onto the vehicle for weathering. These are the same colors that we used for the bases on the German vehicles. And the same colors that we used on the bases of the previous Soviet vehicles that we did, because we've got a BT-7 that we did, a Gaz Jeep, G-A-Z Jeep, and a Soviet armored car as well. Last one. All right, now I can't remember if I ended up gluing this down first or not. I think I'm going to go ahead and... No, we can't glue it down first, because otherwise it's a problem to seal it. I've never sealed spraying down on the base. All right. So, we're going to weather this thing, and we're going to use these last 2 colors we did, but I think we're going to use a different brush. We're going to use a brush that's maybe a little bit better covering area. One of these should be fine. And we're going to start off using the US field drab first. And I know that weathering is kind of a personal decision on how much you want to do. Some people use very little. Some people use a lot. Let's get some more of this field drab on here. No, we still have to do the headlight on here. And a lot of these Soviet vehicles, if you look at what they used, some of them had no markings at all. And they didn't have turret numbers, nothing. Now, we're not going to do that because we do need to identify these from each other for the game purposes. Well, that's definitely not going to work. And then we're going to put some of this on the turret, but not a tremendous amount. that's enough of that color. Now we're going to go to Iraqi sand. This is the same thing we did with the German vehicles. Same method we did. And of course, once you seal this, again, it'll look different. The magic of sealing. All right, let me step away from this thing and take a look at it. Now let's compare it. Let's say one of these Panzer IIs we did recently. Man, it looks really green on you guys' screen, but it's not that bright. I'm pretty happy with how that looks. I'm pretty happy with how it looks. I'm not going to go seal it now. I'm not going to stop what I'm doing to go seal it. But I'm happy with how that looks from here. The big difference is the colors. The colors just don't come out right on the camera. For whatever reason, they just don't. So, 166 T34, number 166. Okay. Let's rinse this off. Okay, next thing we're going to do is we're going to do this one. And of course we're going to make it look different. I've got a drawing in here that I saved. I believe it's this one. Oh, this one has a star as well. Okay, we're going to use a smaller star. We went ahead and already brushed that. Yep, yes we did. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Do we have any water left over from yesterday? This one happens to be a smaller star, so we're going to put a little smaller red star there. The number goes on the hole. It's a 25 that's down here in the middle of the hole. And it's kind of a different type of script on that. So let's cut out a couple of small red stars. The really small ones, which are these right here. Let's just cut 2 of those out. Oh, hold on 1 second. Okay. All right. So that should be set now. Well, we already went ahead and did the gloss coat. That's the only thing that's going to be on this turret is these tiny little yellow red stars. That's it. It's all that's going on there. Because the numbers are on the hull, which is kind of an unusual thing, but this is an actual decal on the Unimodel. Now, I don't have the decal, but somebody was nice enough to post what it looks like. So I'm going to be hand painting the numbers. And I don't know how they'll look because they kind of look strange. You know, some things, even if they're accurate, they just don't look right. And that may be one of these things. But it is different than some of... We need to have a varied set of tanks, because there's going to be enough of them. I never put microset down. I don't think that it needs it, but I have the stuff. Might as well use it. It'd be different if I hadn't gone and bought them. Yeah, it's shifted on me. Shifty. Okay, turret's done. This. All right. Now, this is the part where we run out of space here. I need to get rid of all this stuff here. Because we need to grab this thing. Now I'll actually show you the picture that we're talking about, because I need to have it right there. So let's go ahead and nope, that's not it. That's not it. That's not it. There it is. So we're going to grab and replace this one with done. And let's make it visible. Okay, it's that tank at the top. 11th Mechanized Corps, Western Front, July 1942. It's got a little red star, and it's a white 25. And the 25 is in the middle of the hull. Rather strange, but what's the worst thing that could happen? I don't like how it turns out. I don't like how it looks. I repaint it. Let's give it a shot. quite there. That's not the one we use. Don't start dropping things on the ground. All right. Actually, I probably need to increase the size of this. Okay. So we're going to make a skeleton of the number, just so we get the placement correct. And then we'll fill it in. So let's put the turret on here so that we got spacing. Okay, the 5's like here. We're going to go really, really thin. All right, we're going to go really, really thin. So something like that. And I know the camera's upside down. I can't figure out why the hell it is. It's the same setting I've always used on this particular what do you call it? This app. And somehow yesterday decided to turn it upside down and reverse image, and I tinkered with it, couldn't figure out how to do it. F it. Well, there's the 5. And then we need to do a 2 next to it. So something like that. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. All right, now we should be able to fill that in. And it's relatively, it gets thick a little bit in a few places. Mainly Where's the too fat? There. God, this chair is driving me bananas. Just when I shift. Okay, we'll clean that up a little bit, but that's about what it looks like. And then we should have still some of this green left. We do. That's about what it looks like. That's about what that decal looks like. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take this green here, which is what we did this morning, and take some of the sand color, and we're going to force some shadows. So in other words, we're going to come around here and we're going to highlight stuff that would pop. Ah, I fucked up. God bless it, I fucked up. And I fucked up by not putting the correct turret. Well, you know what? This is going to be 25 now. Shit, that sucks. Because this is the square plate in the back. Alright. Here's what we're going to do. Damn it, man. I may have noticed it if I didn't have my contacts out. Like, my field of view is minuscule. Alright. Sip. Damn. Well. It's fine, you know, it's just not that, it's not what we had planned. Could just leave the hull that way, but I know better, so let's not do that. Let's just repaint 25 on the bottom of this hull here. Shit happens. Did I find out the difference between those plates? I did. And that's the problem. The square one is the 1941, and the round one is anything going on. But when I put these away, I ended up putting the wrong turret on the wrong one, and because my field of view is so small, I have my contacts out. I didn't notice that I wanted this number on this hull. You know, and ultimately it doesn't matter, but it does. It's not what I wanted, damn it. I'm going to try painting the 25 on here again. And if I'm not happy how it looks here, then I'm going to leave it. Because this, I actually don't like how it looks. It looks stupid. But hey, if I was in charge of the Soviet vehicles, they'd look a lot cooler. But it's not a big deal. It's just not what I wanted. Damn it. And this is the turret that goes on this hull. Not this one. You know, the good thing is my paint is really thin, so I can go over it. The problem is I did kind of a nice job on it. I put some thought into doing this, so it's kind of annoying to put this thought into it and it ends up being for naught. Maybe it'll turn out better. This casting is really crude, though, I'll tell you that much. It has some lead decay on it. Not a big deal. If anybody's vehicles need to look rough, it's the Soviets. You know, it's still not 100% accurate because this is the hull that should go with this turret, right? The model 1940 hull. The machine gun mount, if you look at what the machine gun mount is on the model 1940, it's almost flat. It doesn't have a bulbous thing, but that's how it came. I'm not going to scratch build all kinds of shit. It's not really that important. But if you look at any picture of the model 1940 T-34, it does not have a bulbous machine gun mount. On the whole machine gun. Okay. Now back to where we were. And clean these up a little bit. Okay, and let's get some green. And of course, we'll have to cover those over. Not a big deal. Okay, now let's take this and just cover over this. Just going kind of thin. When we end up touching it up, it'll end up being looking a little different. Okay. So that's what this is what this one looks like. Now, I will go and highlight this like we were planning on doing, which is what I ended up doing with the other one. Now, we may need a little bit more Russian green. Yep. All these little rivets. I know I'm going to end up doing some winter schemes at some point. We're just going to have to bring it to this point before I do this kind of highlighting and do some kind of a whitewash on it, which I'll have to find my own method of what I think looks good, because a lot of the whitewashing might be legitimate, how they did it, but most of it just doesn't look right. It just looks like you did a sloppy job. So okay, go ahead and put this guy on here for good measure. Yeah, that's what these two are. Let's see, where's the open spot? There we go. So they're not going to be consecutive numbers, like they're part of the same unit. There's too many different vehicles to paint to make them look interesting, to be hamstrung by having to make them look like they're part of a unit. It's impossible to get shit done when you're not alone. Okay. And we do need to do the headlights on here. I think that one's about done. It's kind of a minimalist. You do need to make a couple things so that they pop out. You can see the three-dimensional lines of the tank. All right, let's look at the Model 41, which is not this one. We can just let's just remove that one. Actually, I'm gonna leave it up because it tells me which one it is. I'm pretty sure I have the other one for the Model 41 already downloaded. There's a ton of stuff on Model 41s. Let's go real slow. Let's open up Pinterest, where I've saved a ton of shit. Okay, we like that one. That's the one we're going to do. It's just kind of basic. It's just kind of basic. And yeah, we are going to do some with camouflage, but let's see if I can save this image. And then let me bring it up here so it'll be readily accessible. Open the source, browse. And we're doing the middle one. Because this one on the bottom, I like it too, but it's got steel road wheels, all steel road wheels. And we don't have that one. This 32-12, no red star on it. That's what we're going to do. Okay. Let's actually zoom it in a little bit bigger. 32-12, and we need to do it in front of the periscope. Okay. So that's 4 numbers. One of them's narrow and a dash. All right, here we go. As soon as I can find some white that is operational. did I do at work last time? I was over here. Must have been what it was. I'm actually going to straighten out the number a little bit because it's a little crick-crocked on there. Something like that. So this one we'll do backwards. So you don't run out of space. Let's just clean it up a little bit of green. I don't like how that 2 turned out there. Let's fix that. What's going on here? It's like catching. All right. Let's grab something a little bit bigger. And we're going to paint over those numbers that were there. And now let's make that little mixture that we had. Tony at home, that's right. I am. Had a short day today at work. Let everybody go, so working on the Soviets. had about enough of this coughing, though. Coughing for no reason. No good reason. Alright, I need to get some liquids. I'll be right back in a moment. Okay. Yeah, I actually like that camouflage one at the top. But you can't start doing all the weird shit first. Gotta do the boring ones first. Or it looks really out of place. You gotta have some normalcy to make everything look right when you start doing the exceptions to the rule. These are pretty rough models. Pretty rough. I think they'll end up looking the part just fine, because the original ones were pretty rough. I mean, they don't even have any tools or anything on the side of them. I mean, sure, you can add them, but I don't really want to throw money at the problem. really minimalist here. But they do have to have all have to have some kind of number or identification on them. All right. Just give you an idea what that looks. And just so much white kickback on this light. It's not doesn't look like that in real life. Okay. And put this away now. One thing's for sure, I don't have to put any radio antennas on these. These were all without radios. Maybe one vehicle in 20 would have them or something like that. So. All right. First things first. U.S. field drab. Marcus Childress. Welcome. You enjoy watching someone else work? Very impressed by no magnifying equipment. Just finished 1/72nd scale Winter War SS today. So, you'd be correct 5 years ago. I am naturally nearsighted, but I wear contacts. And until 5 years ago, I just painted in 20/20 vision. 5 years ago, I got the, where I can't see up close, and I just take my contacts out. So, magnifying equipment, yeah, I'm painting with a +6 built in. So, but the vast majority of my painting I did in 20/20 vision. And it's for somebody who's nearsighted, it is really weird when they're not able to see things because they're too close to you. That is a weird concept. So, yeah, I kind of do have magnifying equipment, but it's built in. But I didn't for many years. It's just easier to just take your contacts out, About when I turned 46, something like that. So, I got to bring readers everywhere I go. I wear contacts all the time. I don't wear them. I'm addicted to sunglasses. So I can't get in the car and not have sunglasses on because of the glare. But I got to bring readers everywhere I go, or I can't read anything. I'm 52, so I get it. I'll be 52 next year. I'm 51 and a half. So, but it never occurred to me to paint with my contacts out. It never occurred to me to do that because I just painted in 20/20. Now, I don't know that I'm painting any better now, but I'm enjoying all of the nooks and crannies that the sculptor on the miniature did for us. I'm appreciating that stuff a lot more now than when I was painting in 2020. I really get to see all these little details up front. And I don't know that I'm painting any better, but I'm certainly enjoying it more. There's just more to see. Mr. Curry, did you ever say what World War II rules we're going to use? Yes. They're called the Face of Battle, and they're no longer... They came out about the time that I stopped doing World War II, and when I decided to do World War II again 20 years later, they're out of print. They're made by a Canadian fellow, and they were really close to the set of rules that I was trying to come up with a buddy of mine. And they're pretty close. But the fact that they're out of print is actually a good thing, because if I run into something that doesn't make any sense, we're going to play it a different way. Because the days of, well, that's what the rules say, it doesn't make any sense, so we'll still play it that way, are over in my book. I'm not dealing with that nonsense anymore. I'm not interested in playing tournaments and having to put up with nonsense written in a nonsensical manner anymore. So it is 1-to-1. It absolutely is 1-to-1. So to give you an idea, I'm painting a lot more vehicles than I'll ever need. I just happen to have them, and they're fun to do. But having more than a couple vehicles on each side is probably too many. The core of the rules works around actions, and if soldiers are of average ability, they'll get 2 actions per turn. So, of course, I found this spot where there's wet paint. I don't like doing this. Make a mess. I'm not used to painting and making a mess. I used to use poker chips for this, but I bought these. Each character will have one of these with their name written on there. 2 actions. So each soldier, each character will have 2 actions. And take all the soldiers from both sides, put them in a bag, like a Crown Royal bag, pull one out. That's whose action it gets. The same guy could go twice. It's possible. It's not likely. Obviously, the less figures you're playing with, the more likely it is to happen. But it's not likely to happen. But that's who activates next. You do your activations, pull another one. There's no opportunity fire in the rules. It's not like, oh, bring everybody back, I shoot at you here kind of stuff. That's something that really bogs down rules, is opportunity fire. And that goes for the crewmen of vehicles. So I've read the rules for the vehicles. I've never played with them before, but the concept is the same because it works around the soldiers. So the driver would have 2 things. The commander would have 2 things. The machine gunner would have 2 things. The loader would have 2, and the gunner has 2. So if the gunner's because you can pair them with cards as well, but you can shuffle those things a hell of a lot better, mix them up in a bag a lot better than you could ever shuffle a deck of cards. And I'm not a fan of shuffling cards by any means. That's the way the concept is. Now, leaders, whether they're a tank commander, a squad leader, an assistant squad leader, they'll have another token as well that's their leadership token. Now, when that one comes up, they can activate anyone but themselves within a certain radius and line of sight of themselves. So, for instance, if you have a tank commander, if you have a regular tank, okay, that does not have a commander for whatever reason, the loader can load, but if there's still a shell there, the gunner hasn't fired off, he kind of wastes his turn. This is all happening very, very quickly, okay? And it's not about operational scale stuff. I've played operational scale games. This is about building a narrative, an interesting narrative in the game. And it's not for everybody. I get it, you know. Some people want to see a lot more things happen, and they want to play a skirmish game where you're managing 30 figures, and it's really meant for you're running half a squad, you know, or a vehicle and half a squad, or something like that. Will I run convention games with them? Absolutely not. I may not even play somewhere other than here. I'm not going to run them at convention games. I don't want to have to worry about people ham-fisting my stuff and damaging them, and I've gotten to the point where I don't want to play with people that are a pain in the ass. And I really haven't had that many experiences with them, but I've seen other people have experiences with them, and this doesn't pay enough to put up with shit. So, but we will film them once I figure out how to freaking play. But you know, that's the objective is to get these things done with the intention of playing with them. But we're doing this for hobby purposes first. We're making sure that we get this. I mean, I've got so many tanks to do, and I'm really enjoying the living shit out of doing them. So that's really my main reason for doing this. But I plan on running it almost like a role-playing game. In other words, one side the players will play, the other one will be controlled by me. And that will speed the game up a lot. That will allow people to ask questions and not have to leave the room. Like, hold on, you guys go ahead and leave the room. I need to ask the GM stuff. Stuff like that just consumes a ton of time. And, you know, especially for folks that aren't familiar with the rule set. It's not abstract at all. And that's another thing is I'm kind of moving away from abstract games. Abstract games just don't make any sense to me. They're hard to explain. They don't leave you feeling very accomplished. So I've never been an abstract game player. And only lately have I had to put up with abstract type of games. And it's a percentile type based game too, which is what I'm used to. So in that scenario, if you had a commander that can activate somebody, let's say the gunner fires, right? The gunner has there's a shell in the chamber, there's a 76 millimeter shell in the chamber, and the gunner of the tank fires. And we won't use this vehicle as an example because this vehicle has the commander is the gunner. But if you had a 3-man turret, the gunner fires, and you want ultimately the loader to activate next so that he can put another round in, right? Because if the gunner activates again before the loader activates, it almost simulates like the loader is slow when bringing the thing in. So maybe the commander's command chit comes up next. So what he wants to do is activate the loader. Hey, dude, load that thing. So that way when the gunners comes up again, he'd be able to fire it. You know, likewise, you know, you could load the shell in, and then the commander's thing comes up, he'll activate the gunner to fire it. You know, just to be more efficient. Oh, here we go. Here's the people that deserve cancer coming through. Let's see. This is a pain in the ass to deal with. So let's see how quickly we can do this. Let's refresh this. Let's click on here. I have to deal with the advertisement. And then I will come over here to one of these assholes that are disrupting us and trying to sell a product that is probably illegal. God, these people cause so much freaking problems. I'm trying to paint shit here. You pornography dickheads. Report. Unwanted commercial content or spam. Just a moment. All right. Now, back to what you were saying. Good Lord. First ever convention game in 87 or 88. Okay? At Council 5 Nations in Albany, New York, was a World War II Normandy hedgerow fight in 20 mil. Like-minded souls also paint the game, but I try to make painting display worthy. Yep. I'm not interested in playing this game that does not look. If this is going to look like those games you see in a magazine, or I'm not going to play it. That's the whole point. You're looking at war games, soldiers, and strategy, or miniature war games. And you're like, the stuff that makes you salivate. That's what I want this game to look like. Yeah, and it's not a time limit. The thing with the convention game is everything could go great, and you run out of time, and you don't get to finish the game. We can go ahead and let's minimize this. Oh, I need to get out of this screen. And an unfinished game is a fail in my book. You didn't get to finish it. So I was never a tournament player. The only reason I even got into tournaments is so I could use my own stuff. That was the only reason to do it. So all right, where is Iraqi sand? Aha. So all my individual inventory, they all have names of who they are, because that's the name that comes up on their counter. Now there's a couple different ways you can play the game, activation wise. You can activate by squad, fire team, or individual soldier. I've always played by individual soldier because it is just basically chaos, and you just have to manage chaos. And you know, it moves slow compared to other things, but there's other rule sets that do other stuff, you know. I like to play World War II with rules that you roll to see if you hit with grenades, and if you don't, you got to roll to see where it lands and what happens. And that's the kind of scale I like, because crazy shit happens, and crazy shit is a lot of fun, obviously, because we're not in real combat ourselves, but that's what I like. I've played command decision and operational type games, and you know, infantry are just kind of a sideshow. So, you know, I'm using T-34s. 3 T-34s in a game, that's a lot. Because remember, that's 12 chits that are going to be floating around. That's 12 figures. That's 24 chits just for the tank crewmen alone. Now, you'll get the hang of it, like, you know, you realize, okay, well, the assistant machine gunner, well, he's not doing anything right now. Okay, so you skip him, pull another chit kind of thing. But these type of games are narrative driven. And like I said, I think if we put everybody on one side, it'll work well. Now, who won't like it? People that are trying to play against other people and trying to beat them. If that's what your objective is, then, you know, well, there's lots of games that aren't going to work for you. You're going to want to play games that are points based, you know. Sometimes scenarios aren't fair, and both sides aren't evenly matched. You need to have fun and see the best you could do with what you have. All right, let's compare these two guys next to each other. Why is this guy sticking to that? And they're not sealed. We gotta seal them, and that changes the look of them a little bit. And they are not. God, they look like there's a lot of white. Let's see if I can get a more accurate representation, because they don't look like that. I'd be disappointed if they look like that. Let's put it that way. Let's see. Let's get. Is it this button that does it? Exposure offset. They're too bright. There's too much brightness on them. That's probably a little bit more accurate what they look like. And I don't know why the hell the numbers are upside down now. Or you know, backwards. That's annoying as shit. That was never a problem. I set up the camera exactly the same way. That's what happens when you use these programs that are free. You use these programs that are free, and you got to deal with this nonsense. Okay, so again, they're pretty basic, but and these are real basic because they don't have any tools or anything on them. I'm not adding anything to these particular ones. We're going to start off with some easy ones first, and we can work ourselves into ones that are a little bit more complicated. And these are the same colors that are in the base. So we're just bringing those colors in from the groundwork up onto the hull of the vehicle so that they fit on the base that they're supposed to be on. Like they belong there. So after we're done with this, we're going to go take these guys and spray them. And then after that's dry, we'll glue them on these bases. And then see what they look like. Only then will you know. Okay. And do the same thing with the turret here. Now, let me step away from them. Take a look at these things. Yeah, I think they look pretty good, and they look equivalent in highlighting to the German vehicles. And we might highlight the running gear a little bit more once it's on the base. Not fair scenario examples from Squad Leader. Road to Wiltz and Hitdorf on the Rhine. Better than fair games. What was that one scenario that was really unbalanced that I played? I was paratroopers in Sicily, and I ended up winning in the last advance phase. I advanced. You had to have one unit within a certain number of hexes of something, and I won. I forgot what the hell it was. I had a record of all the ASL game. I'd say I used to play a lot, but I've only played maybe 60 games, which is nothing compared to other games that I've played. That's a hell of a lot more times than 60, but I had some good times playing ASL. I wouldn't play it again because the turn structure would be too annoying, too predictable. But I have played it quite a bit. But these rules are a hell of a lot more detailed than ASL. Not that ASL is not detailed, but... Okay, so we're going to take these guys while we still have daylight, because you do not want to spray when there's not enough daylight. I learned that lesson. We're going to spray them. We're going to take a short break. I got some laundry to switch out, and I'll be back in about 15 minutes or so. And that's why this says, be right back. Okay, we're back. So I took a look at what these tanks look like in the natural light. They look totally different. They look totally better too. There's just so much intensity here with the lights that just, it's almost like this kickback. And anyway, so here is the T-34 family. Okay, 25 goes with this one. This one is that one, and then the round plate is that one. Okay. And we have the bases ready. One thing I didn't paint is the headlights. No big deal. You can come back and do them later. They don't look that green. That looks like, you know, Toy Story green or something. Again, I don't know why the hell the numbers and everything are backwards. My video didn't have that problem, and now all of a sudden everything's backwards. Well, I don't know how to figure it out. Maybe I may decide to do it, but I didn't change anything. I don't know why it's behaving differently. Just being a dick. The free program decided to be a dick. Okay, so all these should have the same footprint. Let's cut these guys out and epoxy them in place. So you can put the happy little trees, happy little bushes, and I'm on really early. Well, we only worked half a day today at work. It was scheduled that way. I am, and I even played some Ostfront earlier today with a really long battle that I still lost. It was a hell of a battle, though. I almost pulled it off. I ran out of bodies. Actually, I ran out of Panthers. I did recover 2 of them, though. So, I actually thought I was doing really well. Playing pretty conservatively, and still wasn't good enough. It was all fun and games until I got flanked by that 122 millimeter gun that took out 2 of the Panthers. Oh well. Now this stuff comes up real easy because I just put this down today. So this does harden over time. If you can do this within 6 hours, 12 hours, something like that of putting it down, it goes a lot easier. I know you were on early, I would have popped on. How am I doing? I'm tired of coughing. I'm fine. I'm just tired of coughing. It's getting fucking old. It's getting old. And I have a little bit of a sinus something today. Something I call pepper throat, which is, you know, makes it feel like you're thirsty all the time. But I don't feel bad at all. It could be allergies, but I don't know what it is. I took my Allegra, I took some Dayquil, and this is what I sound like. Okay, so that one's pretty much ready to go. Getting tired of mixing up epoxy. Been doing a whole lot of that lately, and as I use the epoxy more and more, rhinitis, I don't know. My wife has had this cough, which makes no sense. Hey, I'm just glad it's not a headache. If I had a headache for this long, I would not be happy. He's had a cough for like a month. It might be some kind of sinus infection. I don't know what it is, but I was totally clear. Yesterday I started getting pepper throat. Mild. And but that's the first time I've had anything even related nasally in it. As long as it's not a headache, I can pretty much deal with anything else. I'd just like to know who was the snotling that gave me this. Bloody snotling. And the coughing actually, it's actually probably worse today than it's been in a couple of days. It usually only happens right after I eat. And it's an unproductive cough and then goes away. So like I said, at least it's not a headache. I can't function with a headache. I wouldn't be doing this with a headache. Let's put it that way. Okay, and that one fits there. We're going to get our vacuum to suck up all these things. We're going to take pictures of these in natural light tomorrow on the stuff when they're done, because they look bad in this picture. It looks like Tony doesn't know how to paint those vehicles that color. Yeah, right. If they looked like that, it looks like Army Soldier Green, something not what I had intended. Not what my intention was. Army Soldier Green. Good evening. You two are a snotling at the moment. Yeah, something's going on. It's not a big deal. I could pretty much deal with anything except the headache. I don't know. I just can't think with that. I just can't think. Even explosive diarrhea. I'd rather have explosive diarrhea than a headache. I mean, I don't want to have explosive diarrhea at work. Don't get me wrong. But, if I'm home, I just can't think with a headache. So, I'm doing great. I just don't sound like I'm doing great. Okay, and this should fit in here nicely. Let's see if we got this in here where it needs to be. Yeah. Oh. Now the part I hate, mixing up epoxy. The reason I hate mixing up epoxy is I've had this same batch of epoxy now for probably 15 years. It was one hell of a value. And it's now finally gotten down maybe still only like 40%. So it just takes a while getting down. I can't really store it like this because, bad shit would happen. So it just takes a little effort getting it out. But let's get rid of the big pieces. And let's get le vacuum. actually gotten that for me last year for my car, and it never made it to the car. I work at a construction type of place, so it gets dusty. I would clog that thing up in no time, just from being at work, and it's great for cleaning up little small messes here. All right, epoxy, right, and our epoxy mixing cardboard piece. Are the unit markings freehand? Yes. I was perfectly fine buying decals, but I would spend a lot of money on them. And some decals honestly look like shit. And they're supposed to look like shit. So I'm like, well, I can paint them and they're okay, you know. I'm not hand painting the red stars. Those are actually from microscale. This 25 and this are actual decals. So there's actually a model kits that have that decal, and I just copied them, and that's what I used. And we need Mr. Vacuum again. So there's a lot of stuff out there that is that's free. I didn't mind paying it, but you know, I'm actually kind of bummed out this order that I placed about a week ago, and I hadn't heard from the vendor, and it's not an absurd amount of money. I wouldn't even say it's a lot of money. It's just frustrating that now it's going to be a hassle trying to get the $80 back, and I still haven't heard from them. So. And this is a vendor that, when I went to look him up, I hadn't heard from him. All I hear is like horrible stories about him. And it's unusual to hear horrible stories about a store, because stores are in business to do business. And if they don't do good business, then they won't get repeat business. And modelers and gamers it's not like there's a world full of them. We're kind of a limited thing, and you want people to buy stuff again, but who knows? Maybe maybe their store is a front for human trafficking or something like that. But in all my years, I've never had a problem with any vendor like this, and it's going to be uncharted territory trying to deny charges and stuff like that. I've never had to do that with anything, so it's just a shame. Luckily, it's not something I desperately have to have. It was. It's something I've been looking at for a while, and I found a vendor that apparently had all the stuff, because it's unusual for plastic models to go out of production. That's just weird. I didn't think that was an issue, and it was for some Plastic Soldier Company and some Pegasus stuff. So, oh well. I'm calling the wife in. She can deal with it. She's good at doing that kind of stuff. I'll take it personal and cuss somebody out, because I don't do. I work in customer service, so to speak. I work with customers, and I don't not answer emails, and That I eventually enjoyed the movie with a family yesterday. So let's see. So a couple days ago, we watched Jojo Rabbit. And the daughter and I, because the wife comes back today, but the daughter and I watched it. She's 17 and change, so I don't think either one of us liked it. It was weird. It had some funny parts in it, but it was just weird. I knew it was going to be weird, but it was still weird. And then we tried watching another movie, and the subtitles didn't work. So I can't watch anything without subtitles, even though if it's in English. You just end up losing, like, what do you say? Huh? What? I just can't watch anything without subtitles. And since I watch everything with subtitles, I'm foreign movie friendly. I have no problem watching foreign movies because I'm going to put subtitles on it anyways. So, did I wind up canceling the order? Not yet. Well, I can't get a hold of them. How am I going to cancel the order? They won't answer emails. So I'm calling the wife in. She can contact the credit card company. I don't do any of that stuff. I could, but she's a lot better at that than I am. So it can wait. It's only $80, so it's not like if I get screwed out of $80, it's not the end of the world. Fortunately, I mean, I don't want to get screwed out of it, but you know, and of course, then I will have to tell everybody who the company is. But I don't necessarily, if I would have, why would it occur to me that there would be a company that would do shit like that? I've never experienced that. Not communicating. And it's just horror stories of the stuff that I've read on them. But it was like 2 years ago. But I didn't realize I had to research who I was ordering stuff from. It's not like I'm buying a car or a diamond ring or something. It's just $80 worth of hobbies. It's what, 4 kits? Yeah, I guess it's 4 kits. Not 4 models, 4 kits. So it's not like it's a tremendous amount of money. Some of you guys probably spend $80 at a bar when you go to them. I don't, but Russian slogans lend themselves to hand painting, but definitely not the stars.
I'm leaving. Love you.
Okay, love you too. We've had good success with Michigan Toy Soldier for those brands. Yeah, that's not the company. They had to have stuff in stock, and I don't know why Plastic Soldier Company stuff is so hard for people to have it in stock. And I got plenty of stuff to work on, so it's not like it's the end of the world. But just frustrating, wasn't expecting that. I wanted to get some Russian trucks too. That's not what I ordered, but I need some Russian trucks for a scenario. I'm building stuff for a scenario, for some scenarios in skirmish campaigns. The skirmish campaign books, I have 6 or 7 of them, and they're pretty good for for scenarios. I think the ranges on them are a little close. Even on a 4x6 table, that's pretty much point blank range for everybody. But it's just a few seconds of excitement in a battle. It's just to create a narrative. All right, these moderately close lined up, front to back-ish. These look really good in natural light. You'll see tomorrow. Although, I'll admit, I suck at taking photos. I really do. I know what I need to do, but I just... how some people don't want to spend a lot of time painting a figure? They just kind of dip, whatever. I'm that way. I'm a dip method painter. Picture taker. I'm like, I'll focus on it a couple times, and if it doesn't work out, fuck it, here you go. It's on Facebook, and have fun with it. I can't sit there and spend a long time tinkering with it because I just don't think it's worth my time. The 41's in the middle, and then this one's over here. Not everybody, I think most people have patience for some things. Like, I don't have patience to cook. Like, that just takes too long for something that, you eat in 2 mouthfuls. I have the patience for painting because, you'll enjoy this for a hell of a lot longer than 3 minutes, and you don't have to do dishes. And you can't go through a drive-through for this. So, yeah, the problem with a lot of these vehicles is they're going to look like crap. But that's how they look like crap. Like, for instance, this vehicle is pretty much devoid of all markings except numbers on the turret. And it's lame, but that's what they look like. They look lame. The 25 on the hull, it doesn't look right, but that's what it looked like. That's actually a decal set that came like that. Same thing with this one. Same thing with this one. So you buy some models and they have zero decals in them. Okay, and you have some like Dragon. You'll buy like one T-34 model with Dragon, and they give you like enough to do like 14 different vehicles. Like, that's pretty extreme. Plastic Soldier Company, no decals. Who's the other people that don't do any decals? Pegasus, no decals. S model, my Panzer IIs, that 2 of them came in the box. I think it came with like 6 different ones. Now, 2 of them weren't usable because they were orange decals instead of being yellow like they were supposed to. But still, I got 4 decals out of it. So it just depends. The Unimodel Panzer 3J had like so many decals that came with it that I was able to put that on a bunch of other vehicles. So I'm actually not opposed to buying a plastic model if it comes with that many extra decals that I can just populate, a whole platoon of them with different ones. It's kind of, worth it, Here we go. Oh, what did I miss here? What did I miss? Subtitles even for English. I know who have some weird accents for a small island. Even if it was the Queen, who spoke extremely clear, mainly because she spoke slowly and doesn't eat up her. We got weird accents here. I morph, so if I go somewhere, if you drop me on that little island of yours, if it's not that little, for a year, I would come back with some demented accent, I'm sure, because things, that hurt so much. I sat down and my neck spasmed real bad. Ooh. That's not good. PSC seemed to wait till the model is out of stock before commissioning new production. As far as their own website is concerned, for instance, a tank destroyer, cruise sprue, and others that I want. I don't understand. I just don't understand how that works. They do decal sheets, but not in their boxes. Yeah, and it's difficult getting those small white numbers, although I did get some, so. Victrix 12mm World War II kits come with decals. Yeah, wrong scale. Definitely for skirmish. The only reason I started doing skirmish is I love I love Dave Alsop's sculpts. When I came across them in a hobby store in the early 90s, I'm like, these figures are awesome. I got to redo their basing, but even the stuff that I painted 20 years ago or 20 years ago plus, I'm still happy with. Here's a guy right here. Other than the basing, which is, pre-internet. These figures took about 6 hours to paint each. It probably won't do it justice. Actually, you know what I need to do? I need to do this. I can do it justice. Just need to come in here and I need to zoom. Where's my zoom button? Okay, now but there's all kinds of like wood grain and stuff on the rifle. I love how these are actually painted with Citadel paints. The old school Citadel paints. The ones that were awesome. But I saw these sculpts at a hobby store and I'm like, I want to do a skirmish game with these. Oh, I'm pressing the wrong button. That doesn't help. What's up with the delay? What's going on here? I'm seeing one thing and you guys are seeing something that's already happened. Yeah, that's weird. Anyhow, all these colors look washed out. They look wrong here, but They look good in natural light. So I've got probably, I don't know, 50, 60, 70 soldiers already painted to that level that I need to just redo the basing on them. But they all have a surname on them. And now the screen stopped, apparently. What is going on? Are the Chinese tying into this? Oh, you know what? I'm on the wrong screen like a dumbass. Okay. So we'll take pictures of these tomorrow. But they all have surnames on them. This one happens to be Worth. And you guys dry yet? Let's paint some. Let's go ahead and paint the headlamps. The headlamps, which we have to do in a funky way that I'm not 100% convinced that I like how they turn out, but they're easy to fix and change to a different method. I saw several videos of people painting them, and I don't know that I like the way that any of them look, but they are just plain pieces, so. But this is an extremely anal retentive, granular game. Extremely so. You got to be like a diehard stickler to enjoy this kind of stuff. You know, like these the two model tanks, they'd play differently. I mean, a lot of stuff is the same, but different guns. They might have different turret trend. What do you call it? Turning rates. They probably don't, but not liking the look of the Victrix plastic World War II infantry. I actually have a strong preference for metal miniatures. I do for figures. Not for tanks. I'm fine with plastic. I don't like plastic. I don't like plastic figures. I think they look okay. I just don't like. I don't enjoy painting them. It's a little too old school. I've done time painting plastic figures. I'm afraid of them bending, and the stuff that I did comes off. Maybe it's just paranoia for wasting my time or something like that, but. When you put this little grass on these things, they really come to life. Leave a little bit of a rim there. Okay, and mix up some white here. And we're going to lighten up the bottom. And a little spot at the top. This will work for now. Maybe some year I'll come across something that I like how the headlights turn out and do it that way. But no point in cogitating about it and then getting nothing done. You get analysis paralysis. off the bed now. Catch you again soon. Get well and stay safe. You too, my friend. I'll be back on in the morning. About 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's about 11 o'clock, you guys. UK time, right? Unless the time changed it somehow. Man, they look green. They do not look that way. They'd be okay too. They're just kind of cartoonish, you know? Okay, let's put this away. Get our friend Elmer's out. Elmer's glue all. Which I always find ironic because it doesn't glue all. And while I'm thinking about it, where's the grass stuff? This place is a mess. I need to pick up some tomorrow. I got shit everywhere, which is a problem because then I end up overshooting stuff. Like it's not there, and you can't see it because it's right in front of you. And this is just the hobby stuff I've been working on. Okay. Now, where is the grass material? I want to paint one of these pretty soon, these terrain things. Especially this one. That is a T-26 turret. Just like got flung up and landed there. It has a dead body here. Looks like a Soviet guy. Can't have enough dead Soviets. I don't care how many you kill. There's still plenty of them left. Alright, where is the container with the grass? Well, no point even putting that on the base if it doesn't turn out. Oh, it's right here. It's just where right here? There it is. It's fallen down. How many vehicles have I painted so far since switching to World War II? About 20, I think. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Shermans. A Stug. Or Stug. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So what is that? I can't add anymore. That's 14. And 14 plus the 5 Panzer IIs. So that's 20. And I had a BT7 and a BA6 and a Gaz Jeep. But I had those before, so 19. 19 plus these 3, this will be 22. Yeah, I'm not switching away from World War II for a long time. I just don't seem to have a better output in this scale and period than I did in. There's less to cogitate about. I'm just doing stuff I want instead of doing stuff I have to do. You know? I haven't messed with this shit in 20 years. And, it's time. Damn it. It's neglected. I've said it before. I am a World War II guy. I just happened to spend 18 years in DBA prison. Not really prison. I don't have anything bad to say about it. I'm done playing games that you can't figure out, or you figure out and then you find out you're wrong, and I ain't got time for that. That's frustrating. Let somebody else be tortured with that for a while. This is where the grass is going to go. And I don't want to worry about, trying to make things balanced. Life isn't balanced. Tough shit. Have fun. Enjoy the game. Enjoy the strange situations that happen. Enjoy the narrative. And I'm excited of that. I can play this game that has models that I'm putting a lot of detail into, and the rules have a lot of detail. Not put a lot of detail into the models, and the rules are vague as shit. That's probably more than anything else. What's that piece? Here. Okay. And then we put bushes on there afterwards. Well, you can't see it because it's off camera. Just that alone makes a big difference. And we're still going to put bushes on it. Here on that, I hit a skid, so to speak, with World War II Miniatures. GHQ hiked up the prices and discovered 10 mils better bang for my buck, so you're contemplating switching to that scale. I'll never paint 6 mil again. I just don't want to do operational stuff. It doesn't have a good narrative for me. It's not. I've done that. Doesn't mean I won't play it. I'm just not going to collect stuff for it. Like, the guys have been playing rapid fire, but they've been playing rapid fire in the daytime while, some of us work for a living. So I haven't got a chance to play yet, but I wouldn't be sold on that rule set because, it's one of those that it's D6 and, some vehicles are treated the same as other vehicles when they're vastly different. It's just not my thing. It doesn't scratch my World War II itch. So, they have a lot of vehicles that have the same movement speed. And I need them to be different. Even if it ends up not making much of a difference, Okay. I can't wait till I do some winter whitewash stuff. The only reason I don't want to do winter whitewash, I don't want to make winter bases because then I got to get winter infantry. And no, I don't have time for that. That's a task too far. But some faded winter stuff, would be okay. That'd be all right. Signing off. Don't be back. Don't throw out any of those old 72nd scale plastic figures. I could take them. Love that Misfit Toys video. Misfit Toys. Which one's that one? Land of Misfit Toys? I'm going to end up having some plastic figures that I'll paint. But I'm just afraid of them bending and everything I've done gets undone. Okay. Now, we've got some bushes that we passed over. Might as well use these. They've been sitting on the sideline. So what I really want to do, I've had something for about 20 years. I've never done anything with it. And we're going to be messing with it soon. That's paper buildings. There's a guy that comes to the cons, to Historicon and such. Everyone, I've seen him. I forget what the name of his company is, but something like Paper War Game Buildings. Something, not mysterious or anything. It's pretty obvious, like, what this company does. And then I picked up some Russian ones 20 years ago. And of course, they're wafer thin. But that's fine. I think they look okay. I just need to put something together and see if that's good enough, or we're going to go the 3D printed building route. Good command decision, good set of rules, like the older Flame War rules, waiting the right people to play that game again. Does it simulate what you want it to simulate? If it does, then it works for you. It doesn't simulate what I want to simulate, But I've done that kind of stuff before, and it worked at the time. It just doesn't anymore. That should be enough. Damn you, cough. I cough for no reason. All right. We're going to put one of these happy green bushes. Right here. Okay. And then we're going to put another one up here, about to get squashed. Okay. And then we'll put one of these here. Okay, and this is the square one with no number on the side. So this one is this one. And we will write the name of which tank it is by the time we're done. Maybe we'll put another one of these there on this side. Okay, next. This is the other one. Spamming tiger tanks, yeah. Not a huge fan of tiger tanks. I don't like that they use tiger tanks most of the time, those independent companies. I just don't give a shit about the history of them. They don't interest me. 503rd or 505th, I just don't care about them. Those free agent type things, Some units like Deutschland, they had some intrinsic tiger ones, but I was playing Gates of Hell Ostfront. I bought a tiger, and it quickly went to let me down and died on me. So screw you, tiger. Rather have the mobility of the panther. Come on. And then this bastard. Put this big one right there. Now, put my glasses on so I can see what the hell. Let's put the correct glasses on. That always helps. Yeah, they look freaking great from here, but I'm farther away from that light, so it's not getting, you know, washed out big time. It's not getting washed out big time. Man, I got a lot of T34s to do. I don't find that like torture. It's not like, oh, I can't believe T34s. Yeah, I think they look pretty good. Well, we'll take pictures of them in the morning outside. Now, here's a T34 that I did using an earlier method. This is an 85, and it doesn't look as good. But we'll be able to fix it up, and it'll look more comparable, but it has more washing and less forced highlights. So, this 25 on the side of the hole looks so weird. This was a Eastern Express, I think is what it was, model kit. So, and I take all the tabs off my turrets because I don't want you have to grind them to turn them and you end up wearing the paint off. So, yeah, it does look darker and it looks more, you know, less like a game piece. Okay, folks, that's it for this session. We'll be back on in the morning, and I don't know what we'll be doing. Probably working on the model kit. Need to get those armored cars done. But thanks for stopping by. Catch you guys next time. Have a good night. Is that 85 the same scale as the others? No, it's actually a 72nd. This is a 72nd, not a 76. I actually prefer 72nd, but you know,